But that's going to change in November because Mars is the masculine and Mars takes action and Mars does things and Mars fights for what it wants. Welcome back, Astro fam. This is your November relationship astrology forecast. We're going to be breaking down the month of November, the cosmic weather that is coming up for us, and we are going to talk about how we're going to navigate that as best as we can to have harmonious relationships, to move forward in our relationships. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Mandy Rose. I'm a relational astrologer, which essentially means that I use the current cosmic energy, the cosmic weather, to help you have better relationships. So if you're new to this channel, you'll notice that my videos take specifically the lens of relationships, but we will be breaking down what all the planets are up to this month. So if you have your birth chart handy, go ahead and grab that. We'll be breaking it down one planet at a time. Then we are going to dive into the date by date breakdown. So if you have your astrology retrograde journal or you have your planner, you might want to grab that because I'll be giving you the specific dates you're going to want to mark down and pay attention to. But before we do all of that, I'm going to break down the top 5 astrological events happening this month that I think are extremely significant and could contribute to the way that your relationships play out this month. And make sure you stick around because at the end of the video, I break down all 12 rising signs. I let you know what relationships specifically in your life are going to need some attention and how you can navigate through the cosmic weather of the month of November in order to move forward and have harmonious relationships. Okay, so with all that being said, let's kind of go through a highlight. Let's recap a little bit of October. What is the energy that we're walking into November with? So first things first, as we're moving into the month of November, we are coming out of that eclipse energy that we just had on October 28th with that last and final full moon lunar eclipse that happened in the energy of Taurus. That eclipse was kind of old news. The nodes aren't even in Taurus and Scorpio anymore. They're in Aries and Libra. We've already moved on. We're working on new chapters. We are dealing with new relationship dynamics. We are prioritizing the self, all that North Node Aries stuff. So this final eclipse was kind of just like ho-hum, like, all right, it's over, I'm done. I'm calling it kind of like this graduation energy. So you're going to still be feeling that as we move into the month of November. This ecliptic portal is still going to be potent until we get to the 10th of November. So just honor that. It's the energy of like, oh, I've graduated, right? Go back to high school. Remember right before graduation day, you were so excited, ready to move on with your life, go to college, get a job, just get out of the 4 walls of your high school. But there was also this energetic sense of trepidation of like, what is next? Am I going to still see my friends? What kind of new life is waiting for me? So it's exciting and a little nerve-wracking. And that's the energy we're kind of walking into November with. We've completely graduated out of that Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle. Done, done, done. We've learned lessons. We've moved forward in our lives in massive ways in the last 18 months. But what's next? That's the question. What's next? And that really leads us into the month of November. The star of the show for October was Venus, because she ruled both the full moon and the new moon, the eclipses, in the month of October. But in November, it's actually Mars that's ruling the show because we are in Scorpio season and Mars is at home in Scorpio and Mars is having a lot of interactions with other planets during the month of November. So we went from last month being very much about our relationships, what we find beautiful, what we find pleasurable, kind of adjusting and removing things that don't make us feel good, very Venusian. We were more in a receiving energy with the eclipses, right? Venus is the feminine, so we're receiving. Things are happening to us. Remember, eclipses are fated, destined events of external things that are happening to us and forcing us through that circumstance to move forward. So we were in a receptive mode, and you probably felt in October like stuff was happening all around you and you couldn't keep up, and it just felt so surrendering. But that's going to change in November because Mars is the masculine and Mars takes action and Mars does things and Mars fights for what it wants and Mars creates and makes happen. So we're moving more into this power, stamina, feeling more vital, being more empowered to do things in our life. That helps us with this graduation energy where it's like, all right, it's done and over. And now that we've graduated, we are going to make moves, take steps forward, make all the things that we've recognized and realized in our lives from the last couple months through all the retrogrades and through all the backwards momentum, Now that we've reflected and now that we understand what we want and what we need and what we desire, right? Remember, North Node in Aries, main character energy. Now that we know what we want and desire, we're going to make the moves. We're going to step forward. And that's really what's happening in the month of November. And then it's going to escalate in December as more planets come out of retrograde. And then into January, where we are in a new year and a new fresh energy. And it's actually going to feel like a new year this year. So we're kind of getting the ball rolling again, and it's going to feel really good. Also, as we start out the month of November, we have heavy Scorpio energy. We've got the sun in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, and that's gearing us up for a new moon in Scorpio. So lots of energy. I call this the alchemy season. The sun in Scorpio is about really getting deep down into the roots of something, going into the soul level, understanding and uncovering and unearthing and really kind of digging out the rottenness in our life and alchemizing it, making it magical, rebirthing it, transforming it, transmuting it, taking literal like coal and turning it into a diamond, right? Taking silk and turning it into gold. Like it is that energy of this season. So as we're starting out November, even though we've been through a lot, we have this inner power. Mars in its home sign of Scorpio, the sun highlighting, shining heat upon and vitality upon. Mercury, our mind being, how can I transform? How can I turn this silk into gold? It's a beautiful, beautiful start of the month. So before we dive into the top 5 things I really want you to pay attention to this month, just remember the overlying theme. Saturn is going direct. Karma is going to be served. I hope you did what you were supposed to do, because either we're going to get the blessing or the punishment. We have all the scorpionic energy, so we have the power to transform. We have the ability to go deep. We're going to make magic out of our life, and Venus will be moving into her home sign of Libra, which is going to be absolutely beautiful for relationships. We'll talk more about that, but she's been through one hell of a journey with her retrograde in Leo all summer, then being in critical nagging Virgo, and then she gets at home in Libra, and things are going to feel very beautiful in our relationships towards the end of the month. Before we move on, I have to do a really quick PSA so I don't forget to announce this. It's very important. If you are wanting to purchase the 2024 Astrology Retrograde Journal, they are going to be on pre-sale by the time this video is posted. So you're going to want to head to the description box, click on the link. That way you are guaranteed to have a copy before the end of the year, before January 1st. I will be out of the country from mid-December until mid-January, and so I won't be able to ship them out. So if you are looking for a copy, make sure you grab one on pre-sale, and then I will be shipping them out by mid-November. So you will have them in time for the holidays. You will have them in time to give them as gifts to people. So grab your pre-sale copy, and they'll be shipping within the next 2 weeks. If you've been a part of my community, you've been purchasing these journals for the last couple of years, you will know that the 2024 is my 4th edition. I started this journal in 2020. It came from my own journey of trying to understand the astrology when my marriage was falling apart, when I got divorced. And so I really understood the new moons, the full moons, the retrogrades, how to navigate and have better relationships with myself and the people around me, and now my new partner. And so I pretty much copied my own journal into the 2020 edition. Since then, every single year, it's grown in pages, it's grown in information, it's interactive, where there's new moon rituals, there's journal prompts, there's chakras and crystals and herbs that you can use to work with the new and the full moons, retrogrades, sun seasons, and so much more. It's also very educational. So if you're still trying to learn about astrology or understand what to do around different astro weather events, you're going to find all of that in this journal. In this 4th edition, in the 2024 edition, you will notice the cover is going to be different because it's no longer going to be called the Astrology Retrograde Journal. I think that threw a lot of people off because it's not just about retrogrades. It is going to be called the Astrology Alchemy Journal. This is something I've been working on all year, changing the language of this journal and helping you understand that we are going to alchemize our life. We are going to set big intentions and manifest and turn that silk into gold at new moons. And we are going to transmute and alchemize the energy around full moons to release and let go and make space for new things in our life. So I'm really excited about this new edition, the new language in it, and I hope you really enjoy it and grab it on pre-sale. Okay, I tried to make that quick. I just wanted everyone to know so you don't miss that opportunity if you were interested. So let's move into the top 5 astro weather events happening in November that you really want to pay attention to and that are going to heavily be influencing our relationships. The first thing, we are going to have 3 planets, the 3 planets that are currently in Scorpio, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars, all moving into the energy of Sagittarius this month at different times of the month, but this transit is going to be happening. So we will be moving out of this deep, dark, passionate, intense, scorpionic energy into Sagittarius season. This is going to be so beautiful for our optimism, our positivity, our mindset, being able to think more clearly, to be more direct, to dream bigger. Sagittarius energy is all about expanding ourselves, expanding our horizon, expanding our mindset, expanding our dreams. It's going out into the world on an adventure and exploring and trying new things. So we have been through it. The eclipses were rough, right? In October. The beginning of November will be deep and dark and passionate, intense. And then we're going to move into Sagittarius energy. So that's going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to learn a lot of things. We're going to feel a lot more free. We're going to feel more independent. We're going to feel more optimistic. We're going to really feel like we have this opportunity to expand. So I do have to bring this up because that'll lead me into point number 2. The second thing we want to pay attention to this month is as all these planets move into Sagittarius, they will be in a square with Saturn. Saturn will be out of retrograde. So the second thing you want to pay attention to this month is Saturn goes direct on the 4th of November, right at the beginning of the month. And this is a big retrograde to end because Saturn is Lord Karma. So when Saturn moves forward in the sky, we feel the pressure. He's our tough love dad. Are you being responsible? Do you know what you need to get done? Do the hard thing. Here's a lesson. Here's a challenge. Here's an obstacle. Here is something that you have to commit to. It's building strong foundations, like getting down into the nitty gritty and doing the work. But when Saturn goes retrograde, he's kind of that tough love dad that says, hey, I'm going to step back and I'm going to see what you can do on your own. I'm not going to ask you if you did your homework. I'm going to see if you're going to do your homework. It's the test. And since he's Lord Karma, he's testing us. And he's been doing this since June, July, August, September, October. Now November on the 4th, he'll come out of retrograde and it's the blessing, the reward if we did what we were supposed to do. Or it's going to be the punishment. Things are going to get harder. Things are going to get more challenging. So you want to look in your birth chart and figure out where is Pisces in your chart. What area of life is Saturn trying to teach you lessons from the beginning of March of this year until 2026. So this isn't going away anytime soon. If you need more assistance with this, go back and watch my Saturn and Pisces video. I go through all the rising signs and help you understand what major lessons Saturn's trying to teach you in this area of the sky from March of this year until 2026. Also remember, and we'll talk more about this in a second when we get to the planet by planet breakdown, Saturn is back at 0 degrees of Pisces. He entered in March at 0 degrees, went to 7. In June, he started retrograding back, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now he's back at 0. This is a fresh start. This is an opportunity to try again. So we can talk a lot more about that, but just remember that Saturn is direct, karma will be served, and all these planets, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars, as they move into Sagittarius, are first going to have to answer to Lord Karma. First going to have to be stopped, pause. Are you sure you're committed to that? Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure that is a priority in your life? Are you being responsible when you make that decision? So a lot of that is going to be happening this month. What that looks like in relationships is that sometimes we get in these deep, dark, heavy seasons where change and transformations and ahas and downloads, and now you want to make your relationship better, right? It's like, okay, I know this was challenging, but I want to give it one last go. I have more insight. I have more knowledge. I understand the other person better. And now I want to move forward and I want to try it again. Saturn's going to say, hey, hold on. Like, I'm going to give you a challenge. Are you sure you want to be with this person? What if they don't change? How long are you going to hold on, right? Things like that. It also might be something like you've let a relationship go and you said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm moving on. I'm graduating right after this last eclipse, and I'm going to redirect my energy. You might have this challenge from Saturn where the person wants to come back. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they need you. And you're going to have to do the responsible thing for yourself and protect your energy. And so there's challenges like that that might come up in the relationship throughout the month, kind of testing your commitment to what you've decided you want to do after learning all that you learned in the month of October. Okay, that leads us into the third thing. The third major astro weather event this month I want you to pay attention to is that the sun is going to be conjunct Mars. This is very, very heavy, potent energy. The 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th is the exact day. So we are leading up in the middle of the month to the sun and Mars conjunct in the energy of Scorpio. Big, big deal. Sun and Mars only come conjunct about once every 2.2 years. Okay. And it hasn't happened in the energy of Scorpio in a very, very long time. 2.5 years ago, it happened in Libra. Mars's home sign is Scorpio. The sun is hot. The sun brings vitality. The sun shines a spotlight on, right? It illuminates. Go outside and feel the sun on your skin. It's intense energy. Mars is the masculine, the warrior, the fighter, the one who gets things done, who cuts, who slices. This is going to be an intense, intense energy because Scorpio is about transformation. It's about the soul. It's about secrets. It's about uncovering things. It's about loyalty. It's about power. It's about manipulation. It's about trust. These things are going to come to a head. So relationships could be extremely volatile in the middle of the month. These are relationships that are romantic. These are relationships that could be friendships, business partnerships, any person that you interact with. I want you to be extremely careful in the middle of the month because you could be fighting. You could have conflict. You could have aggression. You could be more prone to this heat of the sun. It could be very, very intense. So I want you to just have coping mechanisms. I would love for you to be a little bit more physically active this month with all this scorpionic energy. We have more vitality. We have more pep in our step. We have a higher chi and stamina level. So burning this energy out is going to be really helpful. Sometimes when you're exhausted and you're fatigued and you're ready to go to bed, it can save you from having a fight. Also recognizing within yourself when you get to this boiling heat, hot level, that you soothe yourself, that you put yourself to bed instead of having the fight, that you go for a walk, that you find ways for you to release the steam that can be pent up in the middle of the month, okay, so that it doesn't impact your relationships. Now, on a positive note with this energy, when the sun and Mars come conjunct, they are going to be opposite Uranus in Taurus. This is a really big deal because Uranus, remember, is choose change before change chooses you. Surprises, abrupt decisions, sudden, unexpected news and information. This could be big, big changes in store. So while you feel volatile, while you feel this passionate, intense desire to take action and make changes, there could be sudden things thrown your way. There could be shocking revelations in the middle of the month that help you move forward. This is amazing energy for getting ahead of the crowd, getting ahead in a project that you're working on. This is about pushing forward. This is a power move energy. If you have competitors in your life, whether you are in business, whether you are trying to get a job, whether you are trying to, seal the deal with a romantic interest, that middle of the month, you are going to be feeling a little bit more magnetic, a little bit more powerful, a little bit more brave and risk-taking to push forward and get ahead of the crowd. So I want you to check in your chart. Where's Scorpio in your chart? We'll talk about that when we get to the rising signs, because that's going to be the area of life that you're going to be heating up and able to push forward, break through, right? Uranus is about liberation and freedom and moving you forward in the next chapter. So there is going to be this sudden and jolting movement forward. Absolutely beautiful energy. And the fifth and final thing I want you to pay attention to for the month of November is the fact that Venus is going to move into her home sign of Libra. This is super, super exciting energy. This isn't going to happen until later in the month. We'll talk more about that in the planet by planet and the date by date breakdown. But once that happens, our relationships are going to feel more harmonious, more peaceful, more balanced, right? Libra, the scales, it's about being kind to one another. It's about being compassionate. It's about seeing the other person's perspective. It's asking for their opinion. It's about making things more beautiful and pleasurable. What we've been needing for a really long time. So just know that's coming. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. At some point, Venus will run into the South Node. That's towards the end of the month. This is going to be a big deal because we will be cutting away South Node, releasing, letting go, moving away from past tendencies, past karma, things that have been playing on a loop. We're going to be breaking out of that, specifically in our relationships, our money patterns, maybe self-sabotage, maybe around our value system, things we don't value anymore. Maybe it's our material possessions. We're selling a house, we're selling a car, we're giving away some of our items to a thrift store. Beautiful energy at the end of the month that's going to release and let go of things that don't serve us in the Venusian areas of our life. Whew, okay, I know that was a lot already. I gave a lot of highlights and a lot of overview. So let's quickly go through the planet by planet breakdown. When I get to this section, I always recommend that you pay attention specifically to your ruling planet. What do I mean by that? If you're not sure, we each have a specific planet that rules over us. It's kind of like our primary life coach, if you will. That is going to be dependent on your rising sign. Now, if you don't know your rising sign because you don't know your time of birth, you can go with your sun sign, and I'm going to run through them very quickly. The ruling planet of Aries is Mars. The ruling planet of Taurus is Venus. Gemini, Mercury. Cancer, the moon, which is a challenging one because the moon moves very quickly every 2 to 3 days. So if you are a Cancer rising, or if you don't know your rising and you're a Cancer sun, then I want you to pay attention specifically to the new moon and the full moon. Those are going to be your peak moments where it's going to impact you the most. And the moon will be teaching you a lesson. If you are a Leo rising, it is the sun. Virgo, it's Mercury. Libra, it's Venus. Scorpio, you have 2. You have Mars and Pluto, both very active this month. Sagittarius, it's going to be Jupiter. Capricorn, it's Saturn. Aquarius, you also have 2. It is going to be Saturn and Uranus. And Pisces, you also have 2. That's going to be Jupiter and Neptune. Okay, now that you know your primary life coach, go ahead and listen to all of them, but pay special attention to your specific life coach. So now that we have all the planets off the chart, let's put them back on one by one. If you have your birth chart handy, go ahead and mark down where all these life coaches are going to be in the month of November within your chart. That will give you an idea of what areas of your life you're going to have to pay attention to. So we are going to start out with the sun. Remember, the sun shines a spotlight upon. It highlights, it brings heat, it brings life, it brings vitality. Imagine the energy of the sun when you go outside and how you feel it on your skin. That's the energy that we're being imprinted upon. Starting out the month of November, the sun is in Scorpio. So this is that energy that we're going to feel of transformation, wanting to get deep down into the roots of something, dig it out. Is it rotten roots? Do we have to throw it away? Or can we tend to them and give them more food and water and have a plant grow from them? Okay, so we have to do some digging and investigating and unearthing in our life around Scorpio season because we want to transmute it into something beautiful. Now we are going to get to the middle of the month, the 22nd. Then we are going to have the sun moving into Sagittarius. This is going to feel so much better. By the time we get towards the end of November, as all these energies go into Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire energy. So we are going to feel more optimistic. We're going to feel more alive. We're going to want to expand. We're going to want to grow. We're going to want to learn. We're going to want to travel. We're going to want to have deep conversations about philosophical ideas and belief systems. It is such a fun energy. Like Sagittarius, I call it like the gypsier or the wanderer. It's all about just seeing where the wind takes you. And when the sun gets into Sagittarius season, it allows all of us to just be a little bit more optimistic, have more faith, have more hope. So a beautiful energy that we're going to feel. If you are a Sagittarius sun, I'll wish you a happy solar return, whether it's in November or coming up in December. Then we move on to the moon. So we have 2 lunations this month. The first lunation is going to be on November 13th, and that is going to be a new moon in the energy of Scorpio. This is really exciting because the last 2 new moons in Scorpio have been eclipses, and so we are finally getting to a point where we are out of the Scorpio eclipse cycle. So wherever Scorpio falls in your chart, this is the area of life that's heavily impacted in November with the sun there, Mercury there, Mars there, and this new moon. That area of your life is now going to get a new beginning, a new fresh start, a chance for you to manifest and set intentions around, not as an eclipse. So this is super exciting and beautiful energy, that new moon in Scorpio. However, I have to say that new moon in Scorpio on the 13th comes with a lot of intensity. We have Mars and the sun conjunct, which we talked about in the intro. It's going to be opposite Uranus, so sudden, jolting, unexpected things. There's going to be a lot of transformation, a lot of volatility, a lot of fiery, spicy, passionate decisions, feelings, energies within our relationship. So just brace for that. And I will have a separate video breaking that down and going through all the rising signs and how that new moon in Scorpio is going to impact your relationship. So stay tuned for that. The second lunation of the month is going to be the full moon in Gemini. This is really exciting. The sun will be in Sagittarius, so we're optimistic, we're feeling good, we're expanding, we're learning, we're wanting to travel. And the moon being in Gemini is about information. It's about sharing. It's about learning. It's about speaking and expressing and communicating. The energy, the other planets in the sky around that full moon are still kind of acting up, but we've had a lot of shifts at that point. Venus is going to be in Libra, so relationships will be more harmonious. It'll be a great time, or a great moon, to do things that are very creative, to get out in the world, to socialize, to connect. Great for creativity or connecting with other people on projects. So we're going to end the month with a much different energy than we're going to be feeling at the beginning of the month with all that heavy scorpionic energy. Then we're going to move on to Mercury. Remember, Mercury is the life coach that is about our mind, how we speak, how we express, how we communicate, how we share information. Very, very important in our relationships, because oftentimes relationships don't flow or are not harmonious because of communication issues. So wherever Mercury is in the sky is how we're tending to communicate in that current season. So as we start out the month, remember, Mercury is in Scorpio. So we are wanting to go deep. We're asking soul level questions. We're wanting to uncover things. We're wanting to get to the bottom of things. You want to investigate, you want to research. So you may be asking those deep, deep, intense questions in your relationship starting out the month. Like, I need to know this about you. I need to find the truth. There's this investigative tendency of wanting to know the truth. Can I trust you? Are you loyal to me? Are you going to betray me? A lot of those things mentally might be coming up with Mercury in Scorpio. Secrets might be revealed because Scorpio rules secrets. So maybe people are finally sharing and spilling the beans and telling you about their skeletons in their closets to see if you're going to stick around, right? How loyal are you going to be? Now, when Mercury moves into Sagittarius, we call this his fall. He'll be doing this on the 10th of November, and this is a time where our mindset goes from deep, dark Scorpio into optimistic, joyful, anything is possible Sagittarius. This is amazing for our mindset. If you've been feeling dark, Scorpio, if you've been feeling heavy, Scorpio, if you've been feeling emotional, intensely emotional, Scorpio, that's going to change, because once your mind goes into Sagittarius, a fire energy, a mutable energy, being flexible, being adaptable, it's optimistic, it's having faith, it's kind of like everything's going to work out. We really get into this completely different mindset of giving people the benefit of the doubt and just wanting to learn, being curious and exploring. So it's going to be a beautiful energy. Then we talk about Venus, right? As a relational astrologer, I have to pay attention to where Venus is in the sky. She heavily impacts our relationships, and also our money, our aesthetics, our beauty, our fashion, arts and entertainment, things like that. Everything that we loved is ruled by Venus. So Venus will be moving from Virgo, where she's been for the last 4 weeks, critical, nagging, trying to perfect, analyzing everything. We've been in our relationships like really looking at how many times have they screwed me over? How many times do they say they love me a day? How often do they help me? What are their acts of service like? We are nagging, critiquing, wanting to perfect. We're trying to find the cracks in the foundation in our relationships when Venus has been in Virgo. She's been in Virgo since October 8th. And on November 8th, she's finally going to move into Libra, which we love. We love it. Venus is at home in Libra. She is like coming back to her main place in the sky in her full power, and relationships are going to become more balanced. Libra, more harmonious. We're going to feel more at peace. We're going to feel like we're going to want to collaborate. We're going to want to work together. We're going to ask the other person's opinions. We're going to listen. People will be more charming. People will be more compassionate. Oh, it's going to be such a beautiful lightning energy for our relationships, which have been very, very difficult. With Venus being in retrograde in Leo, 4 months in Leo, it was like shining a spotlight upon, do you hurt my inner child? Do you help my inner child? Do you make me feel alive? Do you put me on stage? Do you make me happy? Do you bring fun and joy into my life? If not, crap, you got to go, or we have to change it, or we have to do something about it. Then Venus was in Virgo for a month where we're looking for the problems and how to solve them. We were analyzing them. We were nitpicking them. We were trying to find the solution to what we uncovered was wrong in our relationships over the summer. And now we get to go to work in Libra. It's an air sign, so we are coming up with solutions. We are problem solving. We are trying to work together. We're trying to collaborate. We're trying to balance things out. It's going to feel so good. Now, I do want to say that as we get to the end of November, Venus will run into the South Node. So if you're working on your relationships and things feel like they're improving, if they don't get to where they need to be by the end of November, you could have the node of destiny, the node of karma, cut it away. And if your relationship doesn't make it till the end of November, and that could be business, again, that could be friends, that could be romantic, if it doesn't end up being what you need, what you desire, what you are needing support with in the next chapter of your life, the larger picture of your main character energy, it will be removed from you by the end of this month with Venus running into the South Node. That conjunction only happens about once a year. So that's kind of the time of year where it's like, all right, it's got to go. Relationships got to get cut out. Maybe it's material possessions, things that you don't need to hold on to anymore. Maybe it's your values, what you used to prioritize and find important is not valuable to you anymore. So just pay attention. That could be happening towards the end of the month. Then we move on to Mars, the star of our show, Mars. Mars is the masculine. Mars is taking action. Mars is kicking ass this month, being in his home sign of Scorpio. Only happens once every 2 years. Power, energy, chi, stamina, ability to make things happen, power plays, really feeling strong and intense in the pursuit of your goals and your dreams and your desires. So I hope you're capitalizing on this energy. I hope you're feeling like you can just go for it with intensity, that you don't have to be afraid. I hope that you are allowing yourself to go deep into the energy or the things that are maybe you're afraid of. And you're like, you know what? It's now or never. I'm going for it. Especially as Mars gets closer to the sun in the middle of the month, that is going to be ramping up. So flow with the energy, work with the energy. If there's a conversation you need to have in your relationships, prepare for it. It might get aggressive. It might get intense. There might be some conflict, but sometimes that's what needs to happen. If you listen to a lot of professional relationship therapists and counselors and psychologists, they say that the couples that get into fights, that have conflict and can resolve the conflict, are actually happier than those who avoid conflict altogether. So sometimes you just have to have the fight. Sometimes you just have to have the conversation. Sometimes you just have to passionately, intensely get your message across and move forward and find resolution, and know that if that happens in the middle of the month with Mars and the Sun in Scorpio conjunct opposite Uranus, Venus is moving into Libra. So we are going to feel our relationships benefiting from this. Now, towards the end of the month on the 24th, that's when Mars is going to move into Sagittarius. Now, just like Mercury and the Sun, he will have to come into a square with Saturn. Anytime Mars and Saturn come into a square, we call them the malefic planets because they bring challenge. They force things. These two get into a little bit of a fight. And so around the 24th of November, even though Mars is now going into Sagittarius, where we are wanting to explore and expand and take action on going out into the world and trying new things and being more adventurous, Saturn's going to say, hold on, before you book that trip, are you sure you have the resources to go on that trip? Before you sign up for school, are you sure that's the career you want to go into? Before you take action and go on an adventure in a relationship and you try something new, are you sure that's the kind of relationship that you want? So whatever you decide to take action on around at the end of the month, as you feel this shift of Mars into Sagittarius and expanding yourself and getting out of your comfort zone and just letting go of the fear of Scorpio and trusting, having faith and optimism in what will be. But this is a really exciting energy. We're really going to get out into the world and expand our horizons when we get into the month of December. Then we're going to move on to Jupiter, which is my favorite life coach planet because Jupiter is all about expansion and growth and blessings and prosperity. And wherever he is in the sky is that area of life based on our birth chart where we have a pocket of opportunity, and we don't ever want to miss that. Now, Jupiter is currently in the energy of Taurus, but he's retrograde, and he's still going to be retrograde this month. Jupiter expands, brings blessing, brings opportunity when he is in forward momentum. But when Jupiter is retrograde, the blessings and the opportunities dry up. He's been retrograde since September. So if you feel like you are on a forward momentum, you are getting new clients, your relationship was doing well, you are getting more money, things are feeling really, really good, and they've dried up since then, it's because Jupiter is still retrograde. The lesson with Jupiter retrograde is that we are supposed to go within and find that we have been given so much blessing, finding gratitude in what we've already been given. Go back to old clients and nurture them, check in on them. In your relationships, be grateful what that person does bring you. Be grateful for all the things that they add to your life, right? And then Jupiter will come out of retrograde on December 31st. So by the beginning of next year, we will feel more expansive, more abundant, more prosperous, but we just got to go through the rest of this Jupiter retrograde. Now, Jupiter does have this beautiful energy with Venus and some of the other planets this month, so he's kind of playing in the background. And then we talk about Saturn, oh, Lord Karma, our tough love dad, the one who's trying to teach us all the lessons and is responsible for all the hard-ish in our life. Now, Saturn comes out of retrograde right at the beginning of the month on the 4th in the energy of Pisces. As he comes out of retrograde, he's at 0 degrees of Pisces. He went all the way back to the beginning. This is very significant because we got a trial period from March until now in the Pisces area of our life. Now, remember, Pisces is about compassion, forgiveness, unconditional love. It's about our spiritual connection. It's about prioritizing our auras and our chakras and our energetic body. Have you been falling into an energetic practice, meditation, going to church, pulling cards, whatever it looks like for you? Are you finding time for rest and stillness and reflection? Are you giving people the benefit of the doubt and forgiving them? Are you stepping into compassion and unconditional love? Especially in the area of your life where Pisces rules for you, because Saturn's been teaching us these lessons. And if you haven't been doing this, you might get the punishment instead of the reward. So just pay attention to that. Karma will be served this month. He is squaring all the planets entering into Sagittarius. So there will be this background noise of, are you committed to that? Are you being responsible? Are you doing the right thing? Is that the foundation you truly want to build? Where's the cracks in the cement? Like, how do we move forward? Having boundaries, having rules, having structure. Like, it's time for us to get back into work. And now that Saturn is direct, the lessons come from him again. Then we talk about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, our generational planets. They move a lot slower. So Uranus is in the energy of Taurus. He is moving very slowly retrograde, but remember, he is going to be opposite Mars and the sun. So this is my little PSA that you want to be very careful around the middle of the month, especially around that new moon, for accidents. Be very careful when you are engaging in arguments and saying the wrong thing. There just could be some volatile, sudden, unexpected things. And with Mars being our chi and our stamina and our life force, we could be more accident prone. There could be just quick, abrupt things that happen. So just please be very careful and just honor that Uranus, no matter what happens, is trying to move you into the future. Choose change before he chooses it for you. But no matter what, he's trying to bring more freedom into your life and help liberate you from the shackles that you place on yourself. Then we move on to Neptune. Neptune is also in Pisces next to Saturn, although he's at the end of Pisces, where Saturn is back at the beginning at 0. They will be inching closer and closer together over the course of the next 3 years and enter into Aries together. Neptune this month is going to be in a square with Mercury, with some of the other planets. He brings fogginess. He brings illusions. He brings the ability to not see things clearly, that foggy, hazy energy. So we might have a hard time kind of seeing the truth. We might have a hard time making decisions. The information that we're receiving from people may not be accurate. So just be very careful and cautious. But it's a beautiful energy for creativity. It's a beautiful energy for dreaming. It's a beautiful energy for kind of living up in the clouds and allowing your dreams to rule your physical day-to-day. So creative projects, inspiration projects, conversations that help you build something are going to be really, really beautiful. Just be careful of more of like the data and the facts. They might not be coming across as easy as you would like. Then we move into Pluto. Pluto, is still very important because he is moving between Aquarius and back into Capricorn. He just came out of retrograde, and so he is at 27 degrees of Capricorn on top of the US's Pluto return. This is the last time that he will be at this degree point as he rushes forward back into Aquarius. So not a whole lot, just knowing that we are kind of wrapping up some of these heavy, deep energies of transformation around governments, institutions, things that have structure, religion and schooling and medical and all these big major institutions are getting an overhaul with this Pluto and Capricorn, the final hurrah of just crumble it and break it down in support more of Aquarius, which is humanity and helping people, the collective, find their Pluto P power. Then let's wrap up with the nodes. The nodes are in Aries and Libra. We just had the eclipse season, the eclipse portal ending and closing on the 11th of November. Remembering that the North Node is in Aries, this will last us all the way through until the end of 2025. North Node in Aries is main character energy. How can you step into your needs, your wants, your desires, put yourself first above everyone else, and let go of codependency, let go of people pleasing? Libra, let go of being there for everyone else and clean up your own backyard. Get your affairs in order. Prioritize your health. Everything to do with you is this North Node in Aries. And we learned some lessons around that as we just went through the previous eclipse cycle in October. So the nodes aren't moving very much this month at all, remembering they do move backwards, and remembering that Venus will run into the South Node in Libra, cutting out any relationships that don't serve us. Maybe it's the way in which you are engaging in that relationship. Maybe the relationship doesn't end, but the way in which you energetically interact might be shifting and changing towards the end of November. So now we're going to move into the portion of the video where I call What's in the Stars, where we go through week by week, break down the dates on your calendar. So if you have your retrograde journal or you have your personal planner, go ahead and grab it and mark down these specific dates. Now, I go through them very quickly. So if you are wanting more information or you skip through the planets and you're just skipping ahead here to the date by date breakdown, if I talk about a specific planet and you want more information and understand how that's energetically going to impact your relationships, just head back to the timestamp of that specific planet. Because in this portion, I kind of just go through it very quickly. And after the date by date breakdown, we will jump into the rising signs. So starting out at the beginning of November, we are starting deep, coming off that ecliptic energy. So what's in the stars from October 29th until November 4th? We're wrapping up, we're getting clarity, and we're getting ready to take action. So starting out the week, we have the Sun, Mercury, and Mars all in the energy of Scorpio. We are coming out of that eclipse that happened on the 28th. So it's like graduation day, remembering that we have finally let go of something. We're not sure what's next, but we are going to just be moving through the energy of the unknown and getting ready to take some major action. Now, on the 4th, I want you to pay attention because Saturn is coming out of retrograde. This is when karma is going to get served. This is the moment where we are going to get rewarded or punished for the actions that we've taken since June. So have you been responsible? Have you taken care of those taxes? Did you schedule that doctor's appointment? Did you set some boundaries in your relationships? Did you have tough conversations? What are you committed to? Are you allocating your time? Saturn is about time. Are you allocating your time responsibly for what? North Node in Aries, your life, your desires, and your dreams. If you haven't, you might get some obstacles and lessons and challenges that come up. Saturn is back at 0 degrees of Pisces, back at the beginning. We're getting a chance to redo and really get back into the things that we're supposed to be learning with Pisces. That Saturn is in Pisces, so it's about all of us having more compassion, more empathy. It's about our spiritual practice. So have you taken the time in the last couple months to meditate, to reflect, to journal, to rest? To connect with the divine, to connect with your inner self, to align your chakras, to pay attention to your energetics. So this might be a time you have to get back into work on the boundaries and implement some things into your life that you haven't before. Now, also during this week, kind of playing in the background, is that Mercury is going to be opposite Uranus. So Mercury, the mind, speaking, expressing, and communicating. Uranus being abrupt and sudden and shocking and revealing and liberating. There might be some communications that you have in relationships where people are telling you truth bombs, are uncovering skeletons in their closet, are telling you deep, dark, soul level secrets. So just pay attention and also be aware that you don't say something you don't mean, or maybe you give away too much information. Be careful this week because that could happen with Mercury opposite Uranus. And that's all that's really going on this week. We're gearing up for the second week in November, which is a big one. So that leads us into the second week of November, and buckle up, buttercups, because Mars is in the driver's seat. What's in the stars from November 5th until November 11th? Action-packed, building steam, building momentum. Things are really going to start happening here. Beginning the week on the 8th, this is a lovely day where Venus comes home to Libra, something we've been waiting for a long time. Venus rules over all the things in our life that we love, our relationships, our finances, our material possessions, our value system, our creative projects, our physical aesthetics, fashion and arts and things like that. So when Venus gets home to Libra, it's like finding balance, it's finding peace, it's finding harmony. We're wanting to collaborate with people. We're wanting to work together again. Things are going to feel a lot easier in our relationships. When she was retrograde in Leo for 4 months, we were just trying to figure out who brings me joy. Having these shocking realizations that your partner, the people in your life, don't put a spotlight on you, don't make you feel good. They maybe trigger your inner child. With that information, we had Venus in Virgo for the last month, where we were nitpicking and critiquing and analyzing and wanting to perfect our relationships. Now that we're aware of all the things that are wrong with it, and now we are going to work together. We are going to make them better. We're going to find the peace. We're going to find the balance. And if that doesn't work, trust by the end of the month, as Venus runs into the South Node, that relationship will be cut away, or the energy or the way in which you are operating in that relationship will be removed, and you'll have to build something new if you want to hold on to that relationship. Now on the 10th, Mercury finally moves into Sagittarius, also a very exciting energy. So this week it's like one side is really challenging, which we'll get to in a minute, and the other side, things are kind of lightening little by little to help us get through the middle part of the month, which is really, really hard. Mercury in Sagittarius, our mind is now turning from Scorpio, deep, intense, secrets and power, and people are trying to control me, and we have this manipulation, to our mind being more optimistic. Sagittarius is about freedom and exploration, having faith, having trust, everything's gonna work out. Our mindset just gets a lot brighter. We're able to just really feel more jovial, feel more expansive, more optimistic. Like, it's going to feel so good as Mercury moves into the energy of Sagittarius. However, our mind can now become very scattered. It can be very flighty, attention issues, like we're always trying to seek the next thing. We could jump to conclusions, beware of being too direct or too honest. I mean, that's beautiful, but it can also be challenging. This is also a great season for us to want to learn things, to expand our mindset, to change our belief systems, to learn more about our philosophies and the way that we see the world. So beautiful expansiveness of our mind as Venus is in Libra and our relationships are feeling more pleasurable. And then we get to the end of the week on Saturday, the 11th. 11-11, I love 11-11. It's a beautiful manifestation portal. It's us making our wishes come true. It's about setting new intentions. But on this day, Mars is going to be directly opposite Uranus. It's the liberator, the rebel, the revolutionary, the one who chooses change, the one who brings shocking, sudden, unexpected twists and turns into our lives. This is going to feel aggressive. This is going to feel sudden. There might be very shocking, very abrupt. It could be loud. We could have conflict. There could be aggression. But, you know, again, it's in the pursuit of making our relationships better, having the fight, getting it out, speaking your truth. But it's going to feel good after it's over. So just got to get through the 11th. It's a very tough week. Then we move into the third week of November. Things start to pick up even more. So what's in the stars from November 12th until November 18th? This is the part of the month where everything changes, where we kind of reach that peak, that apex point, and we move forward. We take action. It's just that power hungry, I'm fighting for what I want. It's going to happen for me. We step into the main character energy. It's absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't come without challenges or conflicts or some aggressiveness. So we start out on the 13th with this new moon in Scorpio, the sun and the moon in Scorpio. The sun and Mars are getting closer and closer together. So Mars is heavily involved in this new moon. He's also the ruler of this new moon. So masculine, taking action, making decisions, moving forward once and for all. After all that we've uncovered during eclipse season, and Uranus being opposite this energy is like, blow it up, liberate, take the shackles off, make change, move forward, into the future you go. Tear it down, burn it down, do what you need to do, and get going. Move forward. We have all the other life coach planets contributing to this massive transformation. Scorpio, death and rebirth, transmuting something, alchemizing something, turning the silk into gold, the coal into diamonds. Like, this is that pressure point where we just move forward. So it's going to be a beautiful energy. Come back for the full video that I'll be posting and how it's going to impact your relationships. And then on the 18th, at the end of the week, is when the sun and Mars become officially conjunct. So after the 13th, the sun and Mars get closer, heating up closer, closer, closer. Take action, take action, take action. Make decision. You're going to feel more obsessed. You're going to feel more passionate. You're going to know. You're going to have that stamina and that chi and that Mars masculine energy. You're going to know what you want to fight for. You're going to know what you want to put your energy towards and what you want to accomplish. It's going to help you clear things out. It's going to help you rise ahead of the competition. It's going to help you pursue the things with passion that you've been wanting to for a long time. You just have been on the fence and you didn't know, do you want it or don't want it? And now you know, and now you're going to have the energy to go for it. Which then leads us into the fourth week of November as we get closer to Thanksgiving. So what's in the stars from November 19th until the 25th? things get a lot easier. Things get a lot lighter. We've taken action. We've had tough conversations. We've done the things we've needed to do. We're out of eclipse season. The planets are coming out of retrograde one by one. We will have the sun on the 22nd move into the energy of Sagittarius. This is faith, hope, optimism, exploring, adventure, learning new things. It's such a beautiful socializing energy. It's like the playboy, the gypsy, like I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. I want to learn this. I want to be free. I want my independence. Absolutely beautiful energy, fire and passion. And then on the 24th, Mars is also going to join this energy. So now we are taking action on learning things, on going on adventures, on exploring, on traveling, on expanding our horizons. Just don't forget that as the sun and Mars this week move into Sagittarius, we do have to answer to our tough love dad, Saturn. So there might be an obstacle, there might be a challenge, there might be something that comes and blocks you before you're making a decision. So you're like, all right, I'm clear. I know what I want to do. I'm going to go forward. I'm brave. And then there's a block, there's an obstacle, there's a challenge. And that's the test from Saturn this week. If something comes up, it's testing you. Are you really committed to that? Do you really want it? Think twice. Don't be impulsive. Make sure it's what you want to do before you move forward. Then that leads us to the final week of November as things kind of pick up for the full moon. So what's in the stars from November 26th into December 2nd. On the 27th, we have that full moon in Gemini. So the sun in Sagittarius opposite the moon in Gemini, with Mercury and Mars involved. So it's going to be a very social full moon. It's about getting out there and connecting and networking and sharing information. It's about finding out the details and the facts, expanding our minds. So it's going to be great for going to events with people, connecting with people. I will talk more about this, but it would be a beautiful full moon to kind of look at your calendar and where are you overextending yourself. There's going to be a lot of busy energy. Of course, it's the holidays. But that's how we're going to end the month. So things are shifting. We're getting a lot more fire energy as we move into 2024. I have my 2024 forecast. If you want to go check that out, there's going to be a lot of fire in the sky, a lot of taking action, being bold, being brave, taking risks, moving forward in our life. This month, it's really picking up that energy with the 3 planets in Sagittarius and fire signs. We got the North Node in Chiron and Aries, a fire sign. So we are feeling the heat, feeling the intensity and the passion as we move into the month of December. So with that, I hope that was helpful. I hope you kind of mark those dates down in your calendar, pay attention to them and see how they can impact you. So just be aware of all of that. Now we're going to go the rising sign breakdown, understanding what relationships specifically in your life that you want to pay attention to and how to navigate them best for the month of November. First, we're going to focus on where is Scorpio in your chart, because these are the relationships specifically in your life that are going to be impacted by the new moon in Scorpio and needing this transformation, needing this tough conversation. And we're also going to talk about where is Venus in Libra in your chart, because these are the relationships that are going to have an opportunity to be more beautiful. This is where you're going to be magnetized and where you're going to find more pleasure and joy this month. So starting out with Aries Rising and the relationships that will be needing some transformation, some tough conversations, some action is going to be in your 8th house. This is the relationships you have with others tied to money. These are people that maybe invest in you. This is maybe your partner that you depend on for financials. This could be people that you share inheritances with, people you owe money to, debt that you have, or taxes you have to pay. Those relationships that are tied to money and resources are going to need a transformation. They might need a tough conversation. There might be something unexpected that happens in that relationship. Now, Venus is going to be in your 7th house of romantic and deep, intimate partnerships. So whatever happens, whatever transformation is happening, know that it's helping you figure out who you want to be in relationship with for the long haul. Venus being in your 7th house is going to magnetize you to the people that you feel safe with, that you feel intimate with, and that you're meant to be with for a long time. That could be business, that could be romantic, that could be friendship. So pay attention to that. Taurus Risings, the relationships in your life that are going to be needing some transformation, that you are going to see a new beginning with, is going to be romantic relationships and deep, intimate partnerships. People that you are in collaboration with, connection with in a deep, intimate way. Friends, business, even enemies that you are close to, hold your enemies close kind of situation, or your romantic partners. As that new moon in Scorpio happens on the 13th, there might be something that comes to light, a an unexpected conversation, an action that needs to be made, a decision, something needs to be transformed heavily in these relationships because your seventh house is the energy of Scorpio. Venus moving into Libra is going to be impacting your sixth house. So this is the relationships that you have that are a part of your day-to-day life. These are your coworkers, maybe it's a counselor, maybe it's your personal trainer, it's the lady at the coffee shop that you see on a regular basis. These relationships are going to feel really, really good. So focus your energy on the relationships day to day that feel good while you're moving through the transformation with those deeper, darker, heavy, intimate connections. Gemini risings, the relationships that are needing some transformation from you this month, your sixth house of Scorpio is going to be the people in your life that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you have to have a tough conversation with your coworkers. Maybe it's a tough conversation that you have to have with your personal trainer. Maybe it's about the people that you surround yourself with and saying, you know what, this doesn't work for me anymore. So there might be some conflict that comes up in your day-to-day life and the people you engage with on a regular basis. Now, the beautiful relationships in your life this month is going to be in your fifth house. So your romantic relationships, going on dates, Venus being here, magnetizing you to romance and joy in your inner child. You could have beautiful opportunities with children this month with Venus being in your fifth house. People that you do passion projects with, people that you play games with, or maybe you're on a sports team with. Those relationships are going to feel good while you're dealing with the transformation and challenging relationships in your day-to-day. Cancer risings, you're going to find challenges in relationships around your fifth house, romantic life and children, people that you work on passion projects with, because your fifth house is Scorpio, where that new moon is going to happen on the 13th. So those relationships in your life around children, maybe it's your own children, maybe you're a teacher, it could be your romantic life, so people you're going on dates with. It could also be people that you are working on creative projects with. There's going to have to be a tough conversation. Something's going to come to light. You're going to have to take action on it. You're going to have to make a decision around these relationships. But Venus is moving into your fourth house. So these are relationships around your home and your family that are going to be more beautiful as Venus is in Libra. And now it's going to get beautiful. It's going to feel more harmonious. Things are going to settle down in your home life. The Leo risings, you're going to find challenges in relationships around your fourth house, which is your area of Scorpio. So when we have this new moon, there's going to be some transformation, some alchemizing around your home and family life. So maybe there's people moving out of your home. Maybe there's a decision you're going to have to make. Maybe there's an unexpected person that has to move into your home. Something is shifting and transforming within the dynamic of your home this month, and you're having to take action around that. So these are going to be the challenging relationships. However, with Venus moving into Libra in your third house, this is going to be beautiful for the relationships that you are learning from. This could be a teacher or a mentor. This could be being on social media and connecting with people through networks and social media platforms. So pay attention and find the beauty and the harmony and the peace with Venus being in Libra in your third house of community and networking while you're dealing with the transformation and challenging relationships around your home and family life. Virgo risings, you're going to find the most challenge in relationships in your third house, which is where Scorpio falls for you when it comes to your social networks, people that you engage with on social media. People could be bullying you. People could be saying harsh comments. People could be critiquing you. Maybe you're a teacher and you're trying to teach things and it's just not working. There could be some sudden changes and transformation that you have around relationships that you're networking with. So be very careful. This also deals with siblings. You might have some fights with your siblings or tough conversations that need to be had with siblings or neighbors. But where you can find beauty in relationships this month with Venus moving into Libra, being your second house of money and finances, this is a beautiful opportunity to have a business relationship grow. Maybe someone is bringing you resources, their network, maybe they're investing in you, maybe you're getting more clients. So people that help you bring money into your life is going to be very magnetizing with Venus in Libra while you're having challenges around your siblings, your neighbors, teachers, mentors, social media. Libra risings, you're going to find challenges in relationships around your money. People that bring you money, people that bring you resources, you might have to transform the way in which you're having these relationships. There might be some actions you need to take. With that new moon in Scorpio in your second house, setting new intentions around how you want to make money, who you want to partner with, who is able to help you build wealth and create more resources in your life. So there's hard conversations and transformation in your money house this month, but you're going to find beauty in yourself. With Venus moving into Libra, you're a Libra rising. Having Venus in your first house is magnetizing. It's so beautiful. People are attracted to you physically. When you walk into a room, your aura is going to shine. So use that to your advantage. the relationship you have with yourself this month. It's getting dressed up, it's putting on your makeup, it's getting out into the world because people are going to see you and you're going to shine with this beauty. And that's going to help you as you transform with the challenges in Scorpio in your money house. Scorpio risings, you are having the most transformation in the relationship with yourself, with the sun and Mercury and Mars and the new moon in your first house. This is your astrological new year, but you're having to transform the way in which you shine out into the world, the way in which you approach people, right? That image you project. So there's some changes. You might want to cut your hair. You might want to change your social media platforms. You might want to change your wardrobe. You are changing the relationship you have with yourself and how you present yourself. And that is going to need some action with Mars, and it might come sudden and unexpected with Uranus. So just, it's all about you this month. Now, where you're going to find some beauty and pleasure is the fact that Venus moves into Libra in your 12th house. So your mental health is getting stronger. The way that you speak to yourself is going to get stronger. Your limiting beliefs are going to start fading away. This is really a month that's more about you than anyone else. So don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about your relationships with other people. It's you versus you this month. Sagittarius risings, you're going to find the most transformation in the relationship with your own worst enemy in your mind. You're going to have to transform the way you talk to yourself. You're going to have to transform your limiting beliefs. You're going to have to transform your escapism tendencies. Scorpio is your 12th house of behind the scenes, your mental health, your energetic health. So with that new moon coming up, you are going to have to change the way in which you engage with the mind up here. But where you're going to find some beauty and pleasure in relationships this month with Venus moving into Libra in your 11th house of friendship. The people around you are going to support you. They're going to lift you up. You're going to find beautiful new friendships. Those relationships are going to be more collaborative and you're going to feel more harmony within them. So lean on your friends as you change the story you tell yourself up here. Capricorn risings, the challenges you're going to find this month in relationships is going to be in your 11th house of friendship. This is your Scorpio ruled area of life. So with the new moon, you are going to have to transform maybe the people you connect with, the people you associate with, the people you consider friends. You're going to have some tough conversations with Mars being there. You might have some sudden, shocking secrets revealed, unexpected things that you discover within your friendship circles. Uranus liberating and freeing you up from those who don't serve you. And where you're going to find beauty in relationships this month is in your career. You're going to be magnetic in your career as Venus moves into Libra in your 10th house. So attracting abundance and opportunity, the relationships you have in your professional life, people supporting you, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Aquarius risings, where you're going to find challenge this month in relationships is going to be in your area of career, your professional life, the legacy that you're building. You're going to find that you need to transform the way in which you engage with the people that are helping you build your purpose or your professional industry. It might be your boss, it might be coworkers, it might be people that support you or don't support you. There's going to be some tough conversations and some sudden upsets that might come to you around that new moon in Scorpio in your career life and the people that impact your career. So pay attention to that. But where you're going to find beauty and pleasure and harmony in relationships is going to be in your 9th house. Your 9th house, as Venus moves into Libra, is all about your mentorships. These are people that teach you things, that help you expand your mind. So lean on mentors or someone who's more advanced in your industry that can help you get through this challenging month of transformation as the new moon and Mars and all this energy is piling up in your career sector. Pisces risings, where you're going to find the most transformation and challenges this month in your relationships is going to be around the people in your life that are helping you expand your mindset. Maybe it's people you travel with, maybe it's people that are teaching you things. So if people are challenging your beliefs and your philosophies, or they're in a mentorship role in some aspect in your life and you're learning to transform that and step into your own power and your own wisdom. Now, where you're going to find some beauty this month is in your relationships of money connected to other people, because Venus is moving into Libra and this is your 8th house. So any kind of money that you share with other people, whether this is your significant other, maybe you share a home with roommates, maybe it's someone that's supporting your business, maybe it's investments, maybe it's someone you share a debt with, there's going to be some beauty and harmony and collaboration that comes around making this area of life more beautiful with Venus being here. So that is all of my rising signs. November is going to be a month of transformation. And by the end of it, we're going to feel so much lighter, more optimistic. We're going to have more faith. And just a little preview for December is when we get into December, we have a lot of planets coming out of retrograde. Neptune will be out of retrograde. Jupiter is going to be out of retrograde. We're going to end 2023 on a very high note. We're going to feel more free. We're going to feel more expansive. We're going to be ready to crush our dreams. The new year is actually going to feel like a new year this year. Last year when we started 2023, we entered in January and like didn't feel optimistic. We didn't feel like going for our goals. Many people didn't even start their vision board or start their New Year's resolutions till the middle of January. But we'll come back and talk so much more about that. Thank you guys so much for being here, for allowing me to be your mentor through the cosmic weather. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Don't forget about the pre-sale of the 2024 Astrology Alchemy Journal. You can grab that in the description box below to guarantee you get your copy by the middle of November. And with that, I'm just going to send you so much love and light as you navigate your relationships this month, and I will catch you in the next video.